Hello, hello, hello. This is Chaotic Christians. Today is Tuesday, October 30th. I'm Scott.
I'm Kathy.
And I'm Doug.
And we're here again for your audio, video, nirvana pleasure.
On the eve of Halloween.
Woo! Scary. But anyway, we come to you every week and try to, our motto is Christianity the fun way. And so we're going to kind of be informative and fun and just do Christianity in a way that's a little bit different for you all. So, we always start out with, how was your week? 1 to 5 stars. Talk about what's going on, what's going to come down the pike, and how things are going. Kathy, how's your week?
I'm going to go with 4 stars.
Yeah?
It was pretty busy, and the refrigerator went out last week, so that was a big thing to deal with.
So that's good? That's what made it a 4?
No, that was what made it a 4. It brought it down from a 5. I think it would have been a 5.
Right, tell the story.
The fridge?
Yeah.
Well, we came home after church, and there's just a big puddle of water on the floor. And so we cleaned that all up, and we think, well, the refrigerator stuff still is cold, so maybe the refrigerator's working, it's just the freezer that went out.
Yeah.
So we get up the next morning, and everything in the refrigerator's warm.
Yeah.
So the whole thing went out. We had the repairman come, and in 5 minutes, what was that?
Oh, sorry, hit the wrong button.
And within 5 minutes, he's assessed the problem, $200 price tag.
Ugh.
And he did it within 10 minutes and was out of here. 15 minutes from the moment he stepped in the door and left.
Yeah. Like if I just had like the smallest bit of knowledge about how refrigerators work, you know?
Yeah.
But it's always accumulating that little piece of knowledge that just like it costs you $200. That's how much that piece of knowledge is worth.
Yeah.
And I've got a list going on apparently. Doug, how was your week?
This week, man, I'd say, I don't know, I'd just say rocking. It was pretty good overall. I got sick. What day was it? Saturday.
Yeah.
Got pretty sick. I was thrown up probably 6 times before like 11 o'clock. So that was, it was alright. I haven't thrown up in a while, so, no fun. But the rest of the week was cool. We got together with some friends we haven't hung out with. Did this, made some pizzas, pushed some packages.
Nice.
Same old.
There you go. Cool. Absolutely. So my week was actually a pretty good week, all things considered. We got over the hump of this worship concert.
How many stars?
Oh, I'll go with 4.5 stars.
Okay.
The refrigerator thing was a little bit of a bummer, but things that require electricity die, and so it was not totally unexpected for a 10-year-old refrigerator to lose a part.
Yeah.
Things at work are going well. Things at home are going well. So no major complaints at all. So life is good, and so I'm going with 4.5 stars.
Okay.
All right. Michael is joining us in the chat room. We should mention this right off the top, that we are going to be going back to a live format, so you can join us on the web again. And for the rest of you 2,000 downloaders who are out there in the interwebs, come join us on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and be part of the live broadcast and talk to us and share with us what's going on in your world. Okay, so next we go on to the ball and chain. Doug and Lindsay are doing this whole new marriage thing and figuring stuff out, and we'd like to hear from them how things are going.
I'd say, alright, pretty well overall, definitely. We've learned to communicate and
the C word.
Yeah, communicate better and really just kind of get our work schedules rolling together, which is probably our biggest deal as far as scheduling things and stuff.
Yeah.
Is she goes to school and then tomorrow she's working till 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's a little tricky, but it's going well. And we've been house hunting, and my dad has been really awesome. Finding houses and taking us here and there and this and that. So that's been a pretty cool experience overall. So we're kind of figuring out new stuff with that. But yeah, no, I think it's been going well, and she made dinner the other day, and that was really nice, and just little things,
right?
Kind of.
So it looks like you guys are almost down to that, we know where we're gonna be.
All right. Here's the deal: is we were pretty set on a house, but it's been kind of stressful, figuring out money stuff, especially. I get nervous when signing anything, whether that's a house or a rental contract or or whatever. Just because I don't like big commitments that I have to sign on to.
Totally, yeah.
In general. But just, we've been praying about it and like just kind of hoping something will fall through. And so my buddy AJ called me up last night, and we're going to try to actively pursue that, and maybe that'll be good as far as this week goes, getting something rolling, and it'd be living side by side with two close friends of ours, and that recently just got married too, a little south of here, and it could be a lot of fun, and just do life together, and
right.
And you get to play your drums.
And you get to play my drums, so that would be awesome.
Now, earlier in the week, I got a picture message on my phone. There's been a new addition to the Pierce household.
A new addition?
Oh, yeah. I should post up a picture or something. So, we have another cat.
Yeah, number 2, right?
That's number 2 in like a 3-week period.
Crazy.
So,
crazy. Way crazy,
yeah, I could be the crazy Christian. There you go. But, no, this one's really cool. It's kind of like a tiger face, and like it's got the cool black lines here and stripes all over.
Yeah.
We were like searching for a name, so this one's Allie, like Alley Cat, and she's just kind of hop up on your lap, fall asleep, hang out, and then in the meantime she just plays with the other one, and that's what we really wanted. So so Betty and Allie, new Pierces.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's cool.
Good deal. All right, check it out. Every week, once again, we're kind of net kind of people, internet kind of people, or even life kind of people. And then whenever we run across something that we think is cool or noteworthy, we want to share it with our online fan base. So what do we have to share this week? Anybody want to go first?
I think Kathie wants to go first.
Dun dun dun.
All right. Well, I've been on eBay again this week, so my check it out is that if you have anything you want to sell, this is the week to do it on eBay because they're giving 33% off their listing fees.
Which is how much if I don't use eBay? Usually,
so if it costs you $1 to list, it's only going to cost you
66
cents.
0.6, which is the number of the devil, which is eBay.
67 cents.
It's going.
Yeah.
Credit card
It's going
number.
to cost you 67 cents. If it normally would cost you $1 to list on eBay, then it would cost you 67 cents.
Right. I'm going to go next. I'm going to talk about chaoticchristians.com. We've added some new stuff.
So hip.
Right, it is hip, but we've made some incremental changes. Most of you are probably used to the new look already if you go to look at show notes and things like that. But like I said, now if you click on the live tab, you'll be able to chat with us and see our video. But we've also implemented something new called a Contact Us page. And it's this kind of neat widget made by the people at saynow.com. And what it's going to do is instead of you having to remember like a phone number to voicemail us or something like that, just go to the page and use this widget to leave us a voicemail. And this also has the added benefit is if you decide to, we can then since we have your phone, we don't have your information, but since you leave a message for us, we now have the ability to push out text messages to our fans.
That's cool.
So it's kind of neat. You can leave us messages and we can push out text messages, but you don't have to give us your personal information and we don't have to give you our personal information. Yet we're all connected. So kind of a really neat service. So go to chaoticchristians.com and check out some of these new updates and let us know if they're worthwhile or if we're just kind of wasting time. That's my check it out.
That's cool. All right, I really check it out. I was kind of perusing the web for a little while, I guess, and I found this cool site. It was kind of like just a link off something else, and it's wisebread.com, and it's kind of like just cool little life hacks, like cool stuff to save money on things, and it's basically like a variety of just like really cool stuff that you can either get for free or really cheap or cool stuff going around, and there's always like some cool pictures or stories and stuff along the way, but I don't know, I thought it was pretty rad and worth checking out, and
thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. Helps you like save money on stuff like batteries, candy, and important stuff too, but I thought those were the most, I thought those were the most interesting personally. So hit that up, wisebread.com, and
all right, crazy Christians. Those crazy, crazy, crazy Christians. We love Christ, we love the church, but we hate stupidity. And you know what? The reality is, there's no shortage of it, unfortunately. But interestingly enough, usually I have no problems finding like an article, like something on the web that's like an article of just how crazy things have gotten. But I actually had to do a little bit of searching this week to find an article that really like rose to the level of noteworthiness for the chaotic Christians. You know, we just don't take any level of stupidity. You really need to be like
maxed out.
That's right. You've got to be deep in the dung to make it onto this show.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So once again, our people from One News Now have come through in shining colors, and the headline here is "Pastor Issues Warning to Churches in America Over Worship." And this was submitted by Ali Martin at One News Now. And I'm certain that One News Now, like even though they try to be a legitimate news agency, it's nothing more than editorials. People just writing editorials all the time. But so we have this a writer named Gary Wright, and he's issued a warning to the American church using statistics that show that more than 85% of churches have reached their plateau or are declining, and that their members need to recapture their passion to know Christ. And what he's saying, basically, is that churches are so wrapped up in the worship experience that they've forgotten the fundamentals of church. And that just struck me as bizarre. I mean, I might agree with some of the ideas here, but I have a hard time applying that to every specific church when I haven't visited the church and actually have seen, you know, hey, what's going on at your church? Let's talk about, you know, what really we need to do to make a difference at your church. Things like that. And I just have a problem with any kind of blanket statement that just says everybody is stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like, hey, you guys all need to change because, you know, I don't really like it.
Yeah.
Which is alright. I mean, you can do that, but I think if you're in a position of authority, like whoever this guy is, and he obviously is,
right.
People are caring about it.
Yeah.
Then I think you have to kind of watch yourself a little bit more. And
like, would his position be the same if you didn't do 30 minutes of POD and Chris Tomlin? But what if you did 30 minutes of hymns? Would he still feel the same way about churches worshiping too much and not praying enough? Or is it just because it's rock music and there's lights and there's sound and there's people who are responding to that energy? Mm-hmm. You know? Is that the thing that's really bothering him, is the response of the music?
What is he saying they're not doing enough of?
Praying. He's saying that they need to get back to prayer. That real worshipers are prayers. Prayers. People who pray.
Some people pray during song services.
Right.
So.
And some people don't. And I think the thing is like, at least when I look at it, church really isn't, I mean, like there's a lot of good places that you can pray in a church building, but I think church wasn't really ever designed for a whole lot of people just to get together and pray individually, at least. Yeah. I think if it's going to be like a group setting with group goals and the church is united like on the same thinkings and ideas, then that's awesome. You know, you can get together and pray for something and get things done. But otherwise, I think, why not just stay at home and have some quiet time or something like that, you know? Right. You'd probably get more done.
And my personal opinion is if you ask 100 people what's wrong with the church, you'll get 100 different answers. Right. You know? And so it really is kind of a thing of, you really do need to kind of decide, okay, I'm going to hop in with this church, and I'm really going to spend a year or 2 years or 5 years and really get to know what's going on in this body and figure out what's going on. And then I can figure out, you know, how I can contribute to the change mechanism. Because every church needs to change, no matter how successful they are or unsuccessful they are. Growth needs to happen, or else churches die. But you really can't evaluate that until you're willing to jump in with them, you know? So that's our crazy Christian for the week. Don't make snap judgments like we do, because we only do it in the name of entertainment and edification. We don't do it in the name of wagging this disapproving finger and telling people how worthless they are. Even though I'm not a big fan of One News Now.
And I'm not a big fan of churches with big screen TVs and
there you
go.
You know,
plasmas this. And
Diamond Vision.
Yeah, you know, whatever.
My favorite is when you go to the really, really big churches and you see the sponsorship information. Like, you know, sponsored by Klipsch speakers.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, like you know, the churches that are like in basically football stadiums, they have sponsorship just the same as anybody else. Because I mean,
just like the Lucas Oil Stadium does?
Yeah, I mean, these sound systems cost a ton of money to do them right.
Mad cash.
Yeah, mad cash. So, yeah. So, you know, so quit the corporate sponsorship. It's not corporations. It's the church. Yeah. Stop it.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So as well as taking our little kind of humorous poke at Christian culture, we do have a heart to be edifying and to be encouraging. as well to the people out there on the interweb. So tonight we're going to talk about... Michael Johnson says, this hymn brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Oh my
Pepsi,
goodness.
if you're watching, we do partake of your
We love
product.
Pepsi.
We love Pepsi, and so if you'd love to throw a little love our way, not saying we wouldn't take it, but you know we could work something out.
You just said not to market.
We're not a church.
That's right. We're not a church.
We're not a. Yeah.
That's right. We're an entertainment company. We're a brand.
What do they call it in the commercials or the
Product
movies?
placement.
Product placement.
Product placement.
Product placement. Pepsi.
Michael Johnson.
Need like a stand or something.
Michael Johnson is making us rat hole. I did this podcast with him last night, and we did like maybe 5 minutes of real content and an hour and a half of rat holing. It was really funny. Okay, so anyway, we were talking about, because we always talk before we go on the show, just to kind of get our heads together on the same piece of paper. And Doug was like, dude, we haven't railed in a while. We just need to rail. And so I was like, okay, what can we rail about?
Kathy said, why?
Because it's fun. It's so much fun just to rail for a little
Alright,
while.
I'll be back here.
And so I was thinking, like, in my heart, what are some things that have really just kind of, like, struck me as totally incongruent with the will of God, right? And not necessarily with the church in general, but just something that struck me in my life lately.
Incongruent. Is that what you said?
Scott's on
Yes.
tonight, man. Just
I
go with
know.
it. Just
Dude.
go with it.
Dude, I
That's
read.
a big word.
That's right. I are reading often.
So.
Okay. So there's this book that's come out by Willow Creek, and for those of you who don't know Willow Creek is, they're this ministry, mega church in the Chicagoland area. They are huge.
It's like if you don't know Willow Creek, you don't know God in
Right.
Chicago, kind of.
Exactly. They're a huge church. They have this incredible heart for new Christians, for the baby Christian, for the seeker, right? And they've gotten huge because they've really looked at that demographic and said, okay, we are going to meet their needs. We're not just going to look at them as Christians. We're going to look at them as customers, and we're going to provide them best-in-class customer service. Personally, that's not the way I think a church should be run, but hey, it works for them. That's what they've done.
True. And they're huge, and they've done a good job.
So I had a conversation earlier this week with somebody about this book because I thought it was fascinating, some of the changes that Willow Creek is making as a result of kind of relooking at this subject matter and making some changes. And the person I had a conversation with kind of went the route of, but I hate Willow Creek. I don't think that's right what they do, and I think that, you know, that kind of customer service orientation is totally wrong. And was just as passionate about kind of how wrong was it that I am. And then I was recommended a book by that person called Church Marketing. And I was like, this is the same thing dressed up in a different cover, is all it is. But it's the same kind of idea that, hey, we're going to look at the people in the church as customers instead of as, I don't know, as workers, as laborers. Because that's what we are as a church. We're the laborers. And in the context of customers, really, we serve God. We don't serve people. Yeah. In that sense. We do serve people, but in the sense of who do we need to satisfy? We need to satisfy the will of God. And all these different kind of how to grow your church, how to be more relevant in the society, that's all about a customer service that's focused towards people and not towards God. And I'm like, how do people not, like, connect the dots?
Connect the dots. Like, oh, wait, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, hey, man, so random thought of the night. It just popped in.
Uh-oh.
No. Because usually I'm, you know, not so random, I suppose, but, you know, usually I'm like, you know, screw this and screw that, and if you have, you know, more TVs than you do people in your place, you're definitely out of line, kind of thing.
That's a good phrase. I need to remember that.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
That's
but anyway,
good.
so I'm thinking, you know, I've been to some hotsy-totsy rich churches, and the one thing that I've never come across in a church that I would honestly find enjoyable, which is kind of like, you know, over-the-top rich thing. No, is I want someone in the bathroom waiting for me, and I want them to turn on the water and hand me, you know what I mean? You ever been to a nice restaurant?
Do they have the tip jar there too?
Yep.
No, but no tip jar.
It's not a tip, it's a tide jar.
A tide jar, yeah. But honestly, that's just serving each other.
Right.
That's almost like washing your feet when it's classy.
Right.
And no churches have that I've ever been to.
That's a good point.
So if you guys have been to a church that does that, tell us.
Write it in.
Because I'll go there at some point in my life.
Yeah, I mean, really, and you make a good point, that if you really are interested in developing a church that kind of grabs people and really inspires them to stay, serve them, serve the people.
Yeah, and it can be stuff that's, you know, I associate with classy and nice, But that is just serving, and it doesn't cost me, another $10,000 on the church budget or something like that.
Right.
It's going to cost you an extra whatever hand, napkins cost or whatever. Stuff like that.
Right.
So.
Right. And I think, like, even in my own mind, as we're talking about this, I think it's very easy for somebody to say, serve people, but don't market to people. What's the difference? But I think there's a really obvious difference. When you serve people, it's not about just making them happy. Serving people is about doing what needs to be done to connect them to God. And so if handing somebody a towel in a bathroom helps to give the impression that these people aren't just here to preach at me, they're here to meet my needs, well, that's a kingdom function.
Yeah, and that person's not getting paid.
Right? But, what's that?
Sorry, Michael had a little input in there. For Easter, his pastor and 2 other deacons wash everyone's hand before they share a meal.
Yeah, see, I think that kind of stuff's cool. And, I think at some point or another, at least you and I, and you, I guess,
no part of it.
No. I mean, we've been to the church, and they do a great, very intimate, setting, and then you have each other wash each other's feet, stuff like that.
Right.
I think that's good, and I think, not that I want more of that per se, but I think that attitude of worship and attitude of serving each other as brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
I think is really neat, and obviously they know it works in that setting, but why can't more things have that same attitude?
Right.
Just different acts. You know what I mean? It's hard to transfer the attitude into different things.
Michael says nobody wants to take their socks off.
No.
But before that, he said it was a pretty humbling and powerful experience for both parties of the hand washing. So
yeah, definitely.
So let me ask you this question then: if you're in a ministry and you want to evaluate yourself, you're looking into the mirror and you're saying, okay, am I serving people or am I marketing to people? How do you kind of judge that for yourself? I'm not asking you to speak for the church, but how in your own life do you kind of come up with the difference of, am I serving people or am I just kind of showing them what I think they want to see?
Well, that kind of threw me off. Well, I know what you mean by marketing per se, a lot of people market people come to their churches and stuff. I don't do that because I don't have a permanent church body, right. So everything I do is serving.
Right.
I mean, I don't really understand what you want out of that question.
Well, when you serve somebody, you meet an eternal need. But when you market to somebody, you're just meeting a very here and now kind of need, right? Well, you need a big screen TV on both sides of the sanctuary, and well, that's what you get for sitting down. And I need a big band with a big drum set and this loud stereo system. And I need somebody that comes and shakes my hand and says good morning to me. And so I think if you're just meeting temporal needs, then you might want to consider whether or not you're marketing to your flock. But if you actually spend a good amount of your time meeting eternal needs, that's probably a good litmus test that you're serving your church.
Yeah. However, I'm going to have to input here. I think that it's how you do your job and how you do these actions that really make it serving instead of marketing. Walmart has greeters, and it provides a lot of jobs and whatever. But that's more marketing. They're there just to sell and just to give a good atmosphere to buy.
Right.
But you walk in a church, and yeah, it is there to kind of give a warm, friendly atmosphere or whatever. But I think I've been to churches where the greeter, remembers you, knows you for one, and asks how your week is just like a friend would, kind of pulls you aside, come here, tell me what's going on. And I think in that, and especially when they're older people and have been doing that forever and they know pretty much everybody's life story, I think that is serving.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the difference between the guy at Walmart that doesn't even get up, but he's still getting paid, $9 an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The same action can just be delivered differently.
I tried to sneak into church last Sunday, and the greeters came over and said, "I'm supposed to be greeting people, and you walked away." And it was chasing me.
Right.
So it was kind of funny.
And we just started what's called a first impressions team, and their job isn't necessarily just to greet people and put out a hand and say hello. Their job is to really identify the new people, and then kind of connect them with some veteran people, and say, hey, let's kind of show you as quickly as we can let's kind of get you significantly connected to somebody.
Yeah, kind of
Right.
like a Big Brother program for
Yeah.
churches or something.
Totally. But I mean, we all know that in the real world, you have about 15 to 30 seconds to make a first impression. And if you don't do it, then you're done. So if it's important in everything else that you do in life to make a good impression, i.e. job interviews,
Yeah, definitely.
i.e., dressing right for church, i.e. dressing right for the school play, whatever, isn't it just as important to make a good first impression for the newcomer who walks in the door?
Yeah, definitely.
You know? So it's common sense stuff like that. All right, any closing thoughts before we sign off for the week?
I don't know if anybody feels like sending me Mountain Dew caps in hopes of me winning a large screen TV. You can.
Oh, I have one at my desk at
See,
work.
there you go. All right.
All right, so we need an address if they're going to send us a cap, or they just email you the
No
code.
way. Just
Just email the code.
email me the code.
Okay, so let's go through our housekeeping stuff and get all this. Let's get all this out formally here. Like I said, first and foremost, go to chaoticchristians.com. You can leave us comments on the show notes. You can leave us voice messages straight on the website. And now you can actually just talk to us and video chat with us right here on Tuesday nights,
Really
7
cool.
p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. And we just pulled it up. I just pulled it up with Kathie the first time ever. That's what we've been looking down at and stuff.
Right.
Really easy, really cool. How do we know if we're going live though? Is there like a little icon or something? Or
Oh, well,
is
the
it
fact
just
that you're
kinda
seeing it
guess?
right now is live. The fact that you're seeing it means it's live.
Okay,
See how on
yeah.
the
So you
right
just click
top
on
one?
top, super easy, real cool. Hit
Yep.
that up, and like I said, as of last week, I check my email probably twice a week nowadays.
Oh
So
my goodness.
I've yet to get one still this week. I mean, I was getting them for a while, but hit me
Yeah.
up this week.
Doug at chaoticchristians.com.
Yeah.
Scott at chaoticchristians.com. Also, if you're only comfortable dialing phone digits, you can still leave us a voicemail the old-fashioned way. 317-468-9199. Also, we had this cool idea. Ever since we started, we had this whole phone number to listen to the podcast thing. It was Kathie's idea that if you ever wanted to give somebody a taste of what we do, you just dial up the podcast and hand the phone over to them and say, here, this is what I listen to every week. So definitely dial the number 408-538-2172 if you want to let other people know what we're about and how we function. Last but not least, we still have not gotten any responses about what we need to do with this back area. Right now, my only thought is to paint it green, and we can do some cool green screen kind of stuff with it. The other thing I thought of was maybe get like some like vinyl fake brick kind of thing and doing like a cool background look.
Something cool.
Yeah,
So hit us up. give
doing
us some
something
input.
cool like that.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Was there anything? There was one more thing I wanted to mention, but I can't think of it right off the top of my head.
Go Colts.
Go Colts.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted
Colts
to
versus
mention.
Patriots.
Maybe. This is a big week.
Can somebody explain that to me before we sign off real quick? The Patriots. So they get caught videotaping the sidelines, which is a big no-no, right? You cannot videotape the sideline and try to get an edge up on the staff.
Oh, is that like why they like put things up in front
Right.
of their face when they're talking?
But they get caught doing it, and it doesn't seem like they really had to pay any sort of real penalty or really suffer
Kind of
any
like
real
a slap on the
consequences.
wrist or something.
Yeah, what is that all about?
I don't know. I think it's just one more reason for them to lose.
There you go.
That'll be
They're
good.
both undefeated, so it'll be a good game.
That's what I'm saying. What is Michael saying over here? He's commenting on that. Patriots rule. Hey, that's right.
We just lost a friend.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah.
But all right, I think that's cool for me.
Yeah, totally. I was going to mention one more thing. It's driving me nuts that I can't remember what it was I was going to mention.
Throw it on the show notes.
Yeah, I'll just throw it on the show notes. Well, anyway, once again, I'm Scott.
I'm Kathie.
And I'm Doug.
Guys, thanks a lot. Have a great week. God bless.